In a recent interview, Jinger Duggar took a nostalgic look back at her family's first television special, offering insights into the early days of their public journey. The special, which aired in 2008, provided an inside glimpse into the lives of the large Duggar family, capturing their daily routines, values, and unique lifestyle. As one of the older siblings, Jinger recalls how surreal it was to have cameras documenting their everyday activities, from homeschooling sessions to family dinners with nearly 24 people around the table. She described the experience as both exciting and overwhelming, noting that while some moments felt natural, others were staged or adjusted for the sake of entertainment. Looking back, she reflected on how this initial exposure to the spotlight set the stage for the family's future in the media, ultimately shaping their public image in ways they could not have anticipated. Jinger recalled several unusual parenting methods employed by her mother, Michelle Duggar, particularly during the filming of the family's first TV special. One of the most striking aspects was Michelle's strict emphasis on order and obedience, often requiring the children to rehearse interactions before scenes were filmed. Jinger shared that her mother would orchestrate family discussions, ensuring that conversations aligned with the family's values and projected a specific image to viewers. Additionally, Michelle implemented a meticulous chore chart that dictated every child's responsibilities, sometimes adjusting assignments last minute to create more visually appealing content for the cameras. Jinger also noted that her mother frequently encouraged scripted responses when answering questions about faith, family life, and personal aspirations. These carefully curated moments, while intended to showcase their strong family bonds, often felt artificial to Jinger and her siblings. Reflecting on these experiences, she acknowledged that while her mother's intentions were rooted in maintaining a positive image, the pressure to conform to these expectations sometimes overshadowed the authenticity of their daily lives. Beyond rehearsed conversations and structured chore charts, Jinger revealed that many aspects of the Duggar household were subtly modified to enhance the visual appeal of the TV special. The family home, already meticulously maintained, was further arranged to ensure a consistent aesthetic. Clutter was minimized, furniture was strategically positioned, and even clothing choices were coordinated to maintain a uniform appearance. Jinger recalled instances where certain rooms were off-limits during filming, either because they did not fit the desired atmosphere, or because they contained items that did not align with the family's carefully crafted image. Additionally, conflicts or disagreements among siblings were edited out or reframed to highlight only harmonious interactions. Jinger admitted that while these adjustments helped present a polished version of their lives, they also contributed to a sense of disconnection between the reality of growing up in such a large family and the idealized portrayal seen on screen. This realization would later play a role in her decision to distance herself from the intense scrutiny of public life. As Jinger matured, she began to recognize the stark contrast between the world portrayed on television and the complexities of real life within the Duggar household. The carefully orchestrated scenes, rehearsed dialogues, and selective editing painted a picture of unwavering harmony, but behind the cameras, tensions and challenges were inevitable. She recalled moments of frustration when emotions had to be suppressed to maintain the family's pristine image, especially during difficult times that were never shown on screen. Over time, these experiences led Jinger to question the authenticity of the narrative being presented to the public. She realized that the pressure to uphold a certain standard not only affected how outsiders perceived the family, but also influenced how she and her siblings viewed themselves. This growing awareness planted the seeds for her eventual departure from the spotlight, as she sought a life unshaped by external expectations, and instead grounded in personal truth and authenticity. Jinger's decision to step away from the public eye was not made lightly. Rather, it was the result of years of introspection and a deep desire to live on her own terms. As she transitioned into adulthood, she found herself increasingly drawn to a more private and self-directed life, one that allowed her to explore her individuality beyond the constraints of her upbringing. She began distancing herself from the rigid structures that had defined her childhood, seeking new perspectives on faith, relationships, and personal freedom. Through marriage to Jeremy Volo, a former football player and musician, she embraced a partnership built on mutual respect and open communication values that differed from the more traditional dynamics she had observed within her own family. Raising her children with a balance of structure and independence, she consciously chose parenting approaches that encouraged emotional expression and critical thinking. While she still respects many aspects of her upbringing, Jinger now prioritizes authenticity over image, finding fulfillment in a life that is guided by her own beliefs rather than external expectations. Reflecting on her journey, Jinger acknowledged that while her childhood was shaped by strict rules and public scrutiny, it also instilled in her valuable lessons about resilience, adaptability, and the importance of self-discovery. The experience of growing up in a highly visible family taught her to be mindful of how personal narratives can be molded for public consumption, prompting her to seek deeper truths in her own life. Rather than resenting the past, she has chosen to use those lessons as a foundation for building a more balanced and intentional future. By embracing vulnerability and personal growth, she has found peace in letting go of the need for perfection and instead focusing on genuine connections and meaningful experiences. Her story serves as a reminder that while upbringing plays a significant role in shaping identity, individuals have the power to redefine themselves on their own terms. Through her journey, Jinger continues to inspire others who may be navigating similar paths of self-discovery and transformation.